Hello and welcome to my homestead. Today is an unusual video as I'd like to tell you about one of my favorite fruits, specifically the types of pomelo. Pomelo is usually a hybrid, or used to be a hybrid, grown in the Southeast Asia, and there are different variations of it. Most people only know grapefruits, but pomelo is quite different, so I'd like to tell you more about this. I'll show you each one of these types separately. This first one is a honey pomelo. The second one is a Starburst, characterized by its red flesh, and I'll open each one of them separately. This is a typical Melogold pomelo grown in California, and this is a Chinese pomelo. It looks like a regular grapefruit, but it's not. It really is a pomelo. So let's take a look at each one of them separately. So here we are. I've taken them out of their wrappings. The first one is the honey pomelo. It's a big size, but you can see the distinctive shape. It's almost cone shaped. It has a thick rind, and I'll show you in a moment when I cut it open. The next one is a Starburst. This is by far the biggest one. This one pomelo weighs about 4 pounds. It's significant in size, biggest out of all of them. And I've already shown the Melogold and the Chinese pomelo. So let's cut them open and we'll take a look at them. So here we are. The fruit has been cut. The honey pomelo is characterized by its wonderful white flesh, but it does have some coloring. This was a hybrid from the original. It's not a pomelo, it's a hybrid from a grapefruit. But it has been bred to get rid of the acidity and the bitterness. Unlike grapefruit, it is much bigger, doesn't have the acidity or the bitterness. You can see the nodules. Very nice and firm. It's sweet. It's very mild flavor. Like I said, it has almost no acidity and no bitterness. You can see a lot of seeds that were bred out. This is a hybrid. This is not the original fruit. As a result, the seeds are very small and deformed, as most hybrids would be. Now going on to the Starburst, I cut it unlike the honey pomelo, I cut it across so you can see the distinctive Starburst shape. It's characterized by the actual shape of what it looks like inside. This has been overripe. You can see by the opening inside. This pomelo is way overripe. Similar thing. It has some firm nodules. Very sweet. It has almost no acidity whatsoever. So another very pleasant fruit to eat. But it doesn't have a lot of sweetness. It is bright red color. It's a beautiful, beautiful fruit to serve as an hors d'oeuvre or with drinks. Now next to it is Mellow Gold. This is what most people are familiar with on regular supermarkets. Mellow Gold is just as thick skin as the other two. You can see the thickness on these. They're quite thick skinned. Mellow Gold is just as thick, if not thicker. You can see the skin is very thick, but it is much juicier. It's not as dry. Here the nodules are not firm. They're very juicy. It is more acidic. Even though it's fully ripe, this is far more acidic than the other. It does not have the bitterness of the grapefruit, but it does have acidity. So this is your typical Melogold. And the Chinese pomelo is a different beast altogether. much smaller than its counterparts. smaller sections, not dry at all, very, very juicy. You have to be careful when you cut it because it will release juice. But the sweetness of it is unprecedented compared to everything else. Even though you would think that the honey pomelo will be the sweetest one, it is not. It is in fact this Chinese pomelo that is the sweetest out of all of them. Even though it looks green, it is really, really sweet. And the skin is a little bit bitter, so you have to be careful not to take any of the oil from the skin as you eat it. You have to clean it off completely from this white flesh. But as far as the flavor, the fragrance, and the sweetness, this is the sweetest one of all of them. As you can see, all of these are quite big, and they're equally different in their tasting characteristics and in sizes, but to me they're equally delicious in their different ways. So I hope this will help you figure out which kind of pomelo you would like to try as you're trying to look for them in the markets, and I hope you will enjoy it just as much as I do. And on that note, thank you for joining me, and until next time.